I just woke up and I had a dream. And I will get to that dream. And Mormons will understand this dream just like the Pharisees understood the parables of Jesus. And they weren't happy. But first I will go to the book of Genesis, chapter 37, to talk about another man who had dreams and his brothers were not happy. Verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger. You can tell it's 6 o'clock from the beeping. In the land of Canaan, the promised land. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. Interesting, I was 16. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. Interesting how the author switches names. Because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of, it wasn't many colors, it was a longer tunic, because he was not designated to work as the birthright blessing son. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves. That's wheat bundled together. Binding sheaves. In the field. And lo, my sheaf arose, and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? They caught the dream, didn't they? So will Mormons catch my dream. And I'll tell you the other dreams too, because you may have missed those other videos where I talk about my dreams. Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed another dream, yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. What an arrogant prick. Just like me. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to him. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And thus the brothers threw Joseph in a pit, pretended that an animal was slaughtered him, and they put blood on, tore his birthright blessing coat. and then he got sold into Egypt, where he had where more people had dreams, and he told of their fate in prison. And so, yes, Joseph was incarcerated unjustly for a crime he didn't commit. In fact, there was no crime at all. He was just put in prison. And then Pharaoh had a dream. And in that dream, he saw 2 girls that he had murdered as a doctor. Oh, I mean, oops. No, this was Pharaoh. And Pharaoh had dreams, and Joseph said, "Hey, I can interpret your dreams, and I can tell you how you can fix the upcoming problem. You have distribution centers, one for 1,000 households, another for 10 of those 1,000 households, and another for the 10 of those 1,000 households of the 10, etc." Yes, I'm already giving you the modern day Joseph. So, yeah, Joseph Smith never had dreams. Oh, wait, the first dream. I mean, vision. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Alrighty. I should still remember my dream after all this. Alright. When I was in jail, I had a dream. I dreamed a dream. And in this dream, I was in the outside of a concert stadium, whatever. I didn't get to go inside. I just sort of saw that there were seating, and it was for some performance. And I was dressed up real nice, as were everybody going to it. It was a fancy affair. And I had 2 tickets, but it was just me. I was divorced. And along comes Spencer W. Kimball. Now, he was dead at this time of the dream. He had died earlier that year in 2008. You know, back around the time of the lunar eclipse that corresponded with the sign of his death. And he was with his wife, and he was dressed up, but he did not have a ticket to this event that I had 2 tickets for. And we made a trade. He asked if he could have my 2 tickets to take him and his wife into this fancy presentation event, much like tonight's Oscars, but it was a stadium seating where it went down, but I couldn't see inside to know exactly what type of place. It probably was similar to Rick's College, their basketball courts, which they also used for their devotionals. It was similar in form and feature to that from what I did see. So that's probably the best description that I can give you for it. And I gave him my 2 tickets. And for giving him my 2 tickets, he gave me a key card to his office. Mormons right now are, let's see, how did the Bible author put it? They hated him yet the more. Mormons are hating me yet the more right now, and are furious because they understand what the dream means, even though they haven't read my book, How to Interpret Dreams. I don't know if that's the title, but dream interpretation maybe, LDS dream interpretation, because I focused it for Mormons. I didn't do one for the general populace yet. Got distracted with other books. And so I thanked him, and he and his wife, is it Margaret Hinckley? Marjorie Hinckley? Can't remember her name, but they went into through the doors and into the whatever event was that night. And because the lighting was even darker, like they do at fancy plays. And I'd been to those in New York when I was on my mission there. And I carried on through the place, got to the elevators, and got in the elevator, and I was around the 200th floor, and I began to go down. I get the key from President Gordon B. Hinckley, who had passed on, and I'm going down. Remember, I'm in jail, and 200 days later, I was in the Utah State Hospital forensic unit, being tested or trying to see if I can recover and be competent for a trial with a diagnosis that is internationally banned from the Russians who made it all up. It's a fake diagnosis. And the Russians used it to lock away those in society they did not want to be free in society. Those were opponents and critics of the Russian government. That's what they did to me. And in the elevator, there was a woman, and then another woman appeared while we're going down the elevator. But that's irrelevant to the main point of this dream. And no, I'm not involved with them. They were involved with each other. And I get to the bottom. Doors of the elevator open up. And there's a guard station behind bulletproof glass, and guys are inside looking at computer screens, and I'd assume security cameras and access to other things, just like my incarceration in the psychiatric observation area, where there was a guard office right across the hall from me, my cell. And a guard came out. I showed him my key card, and he went over to the bulletproof glass door with a key card, exactly like the one at the church administration building that was added during Hinckley's time. And he let me in, and so I started looking for room number 77, because that's what was on the key card, number 77. So I went down to the left, and it was like a big skyscraper floor, not too dissimilar from the church administration building, or not the church office building. But I'd also lived in New York, and they had skyscrapers too. And so it was like a skyscraper with an office floor. And and remember, I'm at the bottom floor. Mormons are raging right now. And I go off to the left and start realizing rather quickly, no, this is the wrong direction. These aren't the right numbers. So I go back and head down to the right side. And I get to room number 88. In room number 88, I can look inside, and there's a desk piled with books and papers. I see a shelving unit on the back side and a shelving unit on the left side by the door, packed with books and papers, loose papers. Just, I wanted to go in. I wanted to read. What are on those books? And instead, the guard yells out to me, "You have 5 more seconds." Sorry, I probably said minutes before. That was seconds. And so I kept on going, and the next one was room 77. Or was it 5 minutes? And then when I got to room 77, it was 5 seconds. And so then anyway, the timing is not relevant to the general thing. It had to do with my incarceration time. And so, yes, I originally thought, oh, okay, this dream is just for my time during my incarceration, when sure enough, I did lots of papers and had books, working on a project as if I were the president of the church. So that's where I get all my ideas from. The economic idea that I came up with, how to save the world with the distribution centers. That was all derived while I was incarcerated. And so I thought that was the dream, and I'm here for life, so I'm never going to be free, so I will never be able to utilize any of this information that I'm getting while incarcerated. Yep. And so I go into room number 77, and it's got a desk and shelving units, but cleaned, emptied, not like 88. And I saw a post-it note on the desk, and so I went over, picked up a pen, and wrote "Thank you" on the post-it note. And then I left the office, went outside, and sat on a an empty park bench, metal park bench, silver metal, and sat on top of the bench like a rebel would. But then that one first lady in the elevator, then, or no, second lady. The second lady in the elevator then came out and joined me at the picnic table. All right. Dream number 1. Dream number 2. I was out. I was free. I was married. A second time after the first nightmarish experience decades ago. And in this dream, I dreamed that I was living in a tent. You know, like Lehi, as he was about to enter or travel to the Promised Land. And I found that I had possession of 2 boots. They were more water boots rather than work boots, and so they went up high up on your leg. And taller than the ones that Karen's sister bought for me. Karen being the wife that I had at the time. So they were like those. Black boots, made for snow, and snow being symbol of death before spring and rebirth. And yeah, they went up your leg. So best I can describe them. And I realized that I didn't want the responsibility of those boots. The responsibility of boots? Huh? And so I took those boots and went on a walk and came across Thomas S. Monson. And I said, "Here are your boots. Do you want them back?" All he did was smile and then walked on. And so I'm stuck with the boots. Mormons are furious. They're in denial. No, this is not true. Travis, you're a liar. No. Just like Joseph's brothers. They will not accept it. They will not let it happen. We will throw him in prison and incarcerate him for the rest of his life to remove him from the family. I mean, the society. I mean, the religion. We will not allow it. And so I go back to my tent and put him away. Now we get to dream number 3. It happened this morning. I was with a group, and I didn't know anybody in the group, but in my dream I did. And we were people who hung out on a regular basis. We went to a big store, and the best way I can describe it, it's like Home Depot, where you go in and you have the registers at the front, and then warehousing going all the way back in the store's warehouse. And you'd go along and shop for what you need. That's what this store was like, just bigger. You know, it's like a super Home Depot, but it wasn't just for Home Depot items. It was for anything. It was like a Walmart, you know, changing its method of storing things rather than flat in a store with a huge ceiling. It went all the way up to the ceiling with shelving units, like a warehouse in Home Depot. So it was a huge store. And the leader of our group paid for our entrance. You had to pay to go in the store. I guess Costco does that, don't they? They make you pay in order to go in the store and buy things. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Does Costco have those warehousing shelving units? And I witness him paying for my ticket. And then we go through the store, and then we come out, and guards stop us. They single us out. More specifically, they single me out. The others got through. I, however, get these goggles placed over my eyes. And alarm bells went off, red lights on these goggles go off. I was not approved. And Mormons are cheering now. Mormons, yeah, woo, we knew it. And the owner and operator of this store, warehouse store, comes to me. He again places the goggles over my eye. Whoop, 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 whoop. Alarms and red lights. Red light, rock me tonight. Lady red light. And so Mormons are now cheering. Yes, we got him. He stopped in his tracks. We knew it. But wait. The head owner, not just of that store, but over all stores, then came and paid the price for me. Even though the price had already been paid, the store refused to let me leave without paying. But the head honcho over all the stores came and paid the price for me. Now Mormons are back to boo, thumbs down, no, that's not the way, no. Oh, happy day. We've got a bunch of theme songs to choose from today. Yep, so like I told you guys, I use this as a journal entry. So it's a vlog journal entry. This would normally be put in my journal book or on the computer journal entry, but I've changed the formatting to vlogs. So there we are, this morning's dream. Oh, Melissa, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Melissa. I miss you. Oh, I'm gonna cry now. Alright. Do I need to say anything else so that I can go away so that you don't see me cry? Alrighty. I'll probably, well. Alright. Time for me to go.
I'm so glad when Daddy comes home, glad as I can be. Clap my hands and shout for joy and climb upon his knee. Put my arms around his neck, hug him tight like this. Pat his cheeks and give him what? A great big